All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we actually have multi-award winning individual. This individual is also the CEO of a phenomenal record company by the name of 3HP. Right here, right now, we got the one and only Troy Edwards. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Hey man, you are most certainly welcome. I gotta say first and foremost, man, you have done so much legendary stuff within the music industry, man. So thank you for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening.
Oh, no problem at all.
But I gotta ask, man, I want to take you back to the very beginning because I have to ask, man, like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially, man? Because you have done some phenomenal things.
Basically, LL Cool J. When he came out with Radio, that's when I first fell in love with hip hop and music, and I knew that's where I wanted to do. Actually, listen to his first album, and then everything else just clicked and just went on from there.
And I have to ask, man, did you ever get the opportunity to actually work or meet LL Cool J since he was one of your biggest inspirations?
Oh yeah, yes I have. I mean, back when was an intern at Def Jam, and then when he did Exit 13, I actually did some promotions for that project.
I gotta say that's absolutely phenomenal. If you don't mind me asking, how did that internship with Def Jam come to be? And of course, did you ever actually get hired on, or were you only an intern there?
No, I was just only an intern, and then back in the day, everything was crazy and traveling and doing setting up stages and stuff like that, and we all punched up in one hotel room, and we all of us sleeping, and so we basically did internship, and plus we had to work, and then I was out there building stages and doing all the stuff like that. So after I did that, internship for a while, I just went out there and started doing things on my own.
And I gotta say as well, you definitely cannot go wrong with that type of internship. You know what I mean? That right there is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like Def Jam Records, man, that must have been phenomenal.
Yes, it was a great time, and I learned a lot, and I had a wonderful time, and it was great.
And also as well, man, in 2011, you actually won the BET Honors Award. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that prestigious win, and of course, how did you initially land the job over at BET Television?
Basically, I knew someone who was in. I actually, when they did the BET Awards, I actually would do stuff in events and showcases, and that. The next thing you know, I became on the voting board, and then so I went from the BET Awards to the BET Hip Hop Awards voting board, and then I went to the Soul Train Music Awards voting board too. So we had a great time when Deborah Lee was there, and she took to me, and I respected her, everything that she was doing, and it was a great time. I mean, I was there. I was out there for doing things for them for about 4 years.
And I gotta say as well, Soul Train lasted a heck of a long time. I think it was like early '70s to almost mid 2000s. I have to say, were you ever on on one of the sets of Soul Train?
Oh no, I was young. I was too young for that, but but I actually watching it growing up, and and that was another influence in my life, seeing the music, seeing the artists, seeing the dancing, and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of a lot of people was in the music. If that wasn't an influence in your life or Soul Train, you really didn't get versed in music.
I gotta say, I most definitely agree, man. You can never go wrong with Don Cornelius, man. Absolute legend.
Yes, he is.
And also as well, man, you were also the executive producer for Michael Jackson's Redemption. I was wondering, for the listeners who haven't already seen it, can you tell us a bit more about this phenomenal documentary? And of course, what was it like just documenting the life and career of Michael Jackson?
Well, it's actually a movie that's coming out next year. So I'm executive producer, and plus Ms. Hughes is from the book that she did called Redemption, and she was actually she was actually against Michael Jackson. She was actually worked for the secretary. She was the secretary of the lawyers, and then she saw everything. The evidence was going against Michael. Michael was blackmailed. He was played on both sides. But everything was all about money, and the book turned into a movie that we're working on is coming out next year. So of course, when COVID hit, it did everything a stop in Hollywood. So right now, you know, we got R&B legends, Blackstreet, we got Jet, we got Neo, we got Carl Thomas, we got a lot of the soundtrack is going to be filled with all R&B legends of people who's been inspired by Michael. So, and of course, you have some of the Jackson family that are coming aboard and be a part of the soundtrack too. So I'm actually the executive board member of the movie. So I'm kind of like second in charge, and then I'm in control of the whole soundtrack that's coming off my label.
And I gotta say as well, man, I first and foremost, because I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan myself. I know a lot of people might be shocked at that, judging by how much hip hop, but I do love myself the occasional Michael Jackson song, man. So I gotta say first and foremost, thank you for making a project like this that actually sheds light on the real situation, man. Because all us real Michael Jackson fans know that man was definitely innocent.
Yes, he was, and this movie is very important and crucial just to show everything, and everything is documented, all the paperwork we have. So it's not a movie that we're just making up. It's a movie that everything actually happened, the true events, all during the court cases and all that kind of stuff. So everything is documented, and of course, Miss Hughes and before Joe Jackson passed, you know, everybody they actually signed on to this movie, and you know, glad that this movie is going to be made. So we're finally in the process of getting everything done right now, since everything has been, you know, a lot of things have been lifted now. So Hollywood's kind of been shut down, and things are starting to open up now. So we're going to be full steam ahead real soon.
And also, the one thing I have to ask pertaining to this project, and I do know, obviously, that, you know, it hasn't been released yet, so if you need to pass on this question, you most definitely can. But also, as a fan, you know, there's a lot of Michael Jackson music that hasn't been released. For this soundtrack, are us fans going to be able to hear some unreleased Michael Jackson music?
No, but no, it's not, you know, of course it's not going to happen, because you know how it is with the Jackson estate. Of course, we're part and moving with the Jackson estate, and then of course Sony owns his music, and then you know it's like a tug of war. The Jacksons own this, and the Sony owns that, so it's kind of been, you know, iffy in the air of what we're going to do. So we kind of, you know, try to stay away from that, because we don't need to be sitting in court case. You know, we don't need to be sitting in court with Sony and trying to get everything done. So right now, that's why I put it in my heart to use R&B legends, people who, you know, grew up and was impacted by Michael, and who was the best to do with the R&B legends to be on this project.
And also, as well, you are actually a two-time Black Men Image Award winner. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about this prestigious award, and of course, what is it like receiving not one but two of these phenomenal awards?
Oh yeah, I was touched, and you know, first time around, I was you know, I was blown away just to be honored, and you know, it's not even about winning the awards. It's about to be honored and getting acknowledgement of the hard work that you're doing. So the first time it was more about the music. This award just came by. I wanted, you know, Best Executive of the Year, but it was more of the movie projects that I'm working on now. So one was for more of the music, and this was more for the movie stuff. So, but it both considered Music Executive of the Year. So that was a prestigious award, just to be honored to have those two.
And I got to say as well, man, definitely congratulations. I know I looked at your list of all the awards you won, man, and I was saying to myself, I wonder if he has any wall space left, because you definitely won a lot of awards.
Not much at all. I mean, yeah, my you know, my office, my room, everything. I have trophies everywhere. So during, you know, the last 10 years, I probably won over 150 trophies. Probably more about the last 15 years. So, you know, but, yeah, so I have awards and trophies everywhere.
And also, as well, going into your company, man, you are also the CEO of 3HP Records. I was wondering, what actually made you decide to initially start up this phenomenal company? And, of course, what services do you actually offer to the general public or artists if they do want to purchase your services?
Well, basically, 3HP started out as, I had a radio show called 3 Hours of Power, and I was on, you know, 26 stations. And I basically, every time I, you know, went on air and I interviewed artists, what I did was I was helping other artists, putting them on other stations and all that kind of stuff, because that's what we're here for. Most radio people don't, seem to forget that's what we're here to help the artists, because without us, the artists wouldn't be heard. So, like I said, I see you do plenty of legends. So I'm glad to be a part of your community of artists and people in the music industry, because it's very, don't take it lightly. I think it's an honor to be on the show. And basically, 3HP came from 3 Hours of Power, was on every Friday night from 9 to 12. And then 3HP went from there. So all the artists wanted to be signed, and so we kind of did this together as a family. And then things just blew up after that.
And I have to ask as well, who's actually signed to your label today? I don't know how big the roster is, but if you don't mind me asking, who are some of the individuals that are actually signed under you today?
Well, I don't have no artists right now signed under me right now. The simple fact I keep the 3HP name because I keep the 3HP name just because 3HP Records is known. I actually do more marketing promotions with the 3HP Records brand. So right now I do more marketing and promotions off of that brand. And, of course, the marketing promotions also go with everything and all the projects, the movie projects that I'm doing and all that kind of stuff, So now we went from there. Now we're into horse racing. I got 2 horses. Then we have, other things that we rent out. We have a boat and cars and planes. We rent out that. So we basically turned 3HP Records more of an empire, into what we're doing right now. And so, from artist development to getting artists out there, but that's what 3HP is at right now.
And also as well, I actually read that you actually have your own 3HP apparel available as well. I was wondering, what different kinds of merchandise do you have? And of course, where can our listeners actually grab themselves some 3HP swagger today?
Well, I had 3HPapparel.com going, but of course when COVID hit, everything stopped and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of took the site down, and now we're back into it. So I'm getting the site back up. People are still going to, my social media, and now everybody's ordering the hoodies and shirts right now. But right now, my focus is that until next spring, so we get the whole line going again. So next year, we could be doing shoes, pants, shirts, skirts, everything. So we're actually really growing with that.
And I gotta say as well, I'm definitely looking forward to when the site does come available, man. I was looking at some of your photos on Instagram pertaining to this merchandise line, and I gotta say I love your design work, man. I'm definitely gonna cop myself a shirt when it does drop back on the website.
Yeah, just let we'll chop it up. I'll send you some merch.
But also as well, while we're still on the topic of 3HP, I also noticed as well that your company has done some phenomenal work with DJ I Rock Jesus on the Indie Juice Certified project. I was wondering, how did yourself and Jesus get connected? And of course, what was it like just working with him on the studio on these phenomenal projects?
Well, DJ I Rock Jesus is phenomenal. I mean, he does mixtapes. He's kind of the king, the K-Slade, the Funk Flex, in the Christian hip-hop arena of the go-to guy if you want your music to be played. If your music's not on his mixtape, you really hadn't made it yet. And he has done, I think last time he counted, he told me, I think he's done 1,200 mixtapes over the years. So he's actually one of my A&Rs on my label too. So me and I-Rock are very close, And you know how the music industry is now. A lot of this generation is, even with the artists, people just became, lazy and don't have no work ethic like they used to. And the older generation, we understand how to keep things moving and the grind in the process. So he's very close, and we work together. He's my A&Rs. DJ Rock Jesus just he just changed the whole Christian hip hop game. So, so I basically work both sides, from the secular world to the gospel world, and, working in the gospel world, becoming one of the most powerful 100 people in the gospel. So that was another tremendous honor that I've gotten. So I work both sides of the spectrum, from the world to a Christian world too.
And also as well, I actually read that you are actually an executive producer for 7 up-and-coming movies starring individuals like Keanu Reeves, Samuel Jackson, and more. And like I mentioned during the Michael Jackson stuff as well, I do know there's contracts involved, so you can't talk about a lot. But from what you are allowed to speak about, can you shed some light on these up and coming movie releases? And of course, what can our listeners expect when they do hit the big screen?
Well, it's a big change. You're looking for some great music. You know how when music, because that's what I'm all about, being creative and being relevant. Everybody loves when a hot action movie come on and you got that hot song, you punch the screen and everything, everything's moving. So, people love action. So, me being executive producer of all these movie soundtracks from that to Vin Diesel to Arthur Spielberg's next movie and, the leaders, the Praise of the Dark movie. So there's a lot of soundtracks that's going to be coming out next year that have my stamp on there. So we really, the WHP has really been moving for the last couple of years, and God has just took us to a whole nother level. So I appreciate everybody who's been backing and wanting to be a part of my team and everything. So it's just a great thing that we're doing, and and the main reason is being relevant in the music industry and staying relevant. And we all want passive income, and we all want to make money while we sleep. So those are one things I do for my marketing promotion. Not only promoting the artists, I help the artists develop their own business too, so they have something to fall back on. Most labels and most marketing promotions don't do that. And so I just want to see the industry grow. I want to see artists grow. I want to see artists have longevity. I want to see anybody who deals with the music industry have longevity. So everything I do, I bring partners in the boxing, the horse racing, even what we do with the boat rentals and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely feel in my heart to help people, and that's where my heart is, and that's basically why my brand and everything I do it grows so quickly.
And also as well, I actually read that you were actually an executive producer over at the iconic TV station franchise ABC. I was wondering, man, what shows have you worked on over at ABC, and of course, how did you initially land that gig? Because ABC is freaking huge.
Well, I actually was executive producer of the show, The Platform. So basically, I had fun over there. We did we did a lot of great things, and it was a great experience for me to tackle because that was my start of getting into television. And then, I talked to Ivy from TV One who does Unsung. I try to talk to people, get tips who's been out there. Todd, who's in Hollywood, he was the person that did Jack ASS on MTV, the movie, and all that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of people that I gravitate to, and I like to learn and take new challenges, head straight on. So, that's basically where that all came from. And then. I started getting so much involved in everything else. I just didn't want to really couldn't do that TV show anymore. So I actually moved on, from television to movies.
And also as well, speaking of moving on from television to movies, you also are into the sports industry as well, man, where you actually have 2 licenses in the boxing union for 3HP Boxing. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners about why you actually decided to get into the boxing community, and of course, do you have any boxing events currently coming up that you would like to talk about?
Well, when I got the licenses for the boxing, the plan was, how you watch TV and see all the undercards and see how the seats were empty. So me thinking and going into the whole situation, what's the best way to put people in seats? Have a concert in the beginning to put people in the seats so the undercard seats could be full, and then I was in charge of the entertainment. Of course, the boxing has a lot of shadiness that goes on, and the whole boxing industry, and it got a little bit too much. So I had to back out because the last thing you know, my brand and reputation, I had to keep my brand and reputation intact. And so I actually was doing that, and then I had to back out because I saw a lot of stuff that wasn't going right. So I actually don't. Right now, I do, helping people with doing documentaries. And so 3HP Boxing Promotion is basically I'm helping people do documentaries of boxing overseas and all that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at now, just helping people, get exposure and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I actually don't do that part of the entertainment of boxing anymore.
But also, I have to ask, what is next for yourself? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still would like to talk about or promote? Or we still got you here live on the FM dial? Because I do know we only touched base on a sliver of your iconic career here this evening. But is there anything we happen to miss?
No. I mean, I just keep growing, coming up with, different ideas and branching on. Because basically what I want to do, I want to help people. And, we got a lot of festivals going on next year. We have tours going on next year. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm actually putting artists and R&B legends in place of, getting tours and stuff. And so actually next year we're going to be doing a series in the Baltimore and Atlanta. We're actually going to do like R&B legends concerts at baseball stadiums and stuff. We're not trying to do something small. We want to try to do something impactful. So that's where we're working at now, and with the movies and all the other stuff, and waiting for my horses to grow so I can start getting them into Pimlico, the Preakness, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been blessed, So I just want I share with everyone because I don't want to be doing things and not helping others.
But also, Troy, this is the time in the interview, man, that I give a chance for the individual that slides through the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give like shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way, our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything, everything you got going on, but of course, 3HP Records as well.
Yeah. I'll give a shout out to my Bumpy, and want to give a shout out to my mom. She, like I said, she raising, I lived in a house with, my father was there, but during that time, she was my mother and father, and we're still close. We still do a lot of stuff together. Like, we've been Christmas shopping. It's been nonstop. So I want to shout out my mother, shout out my whole team, my VPs. My VPs are, Malik the Beat Freak, and then my other VP, Pauline, she's a former lead singer. My sister, she's actually a former lead singer of Atlantic Star. Then I want to, shout out to the whole Braxton family, then my cousins, Tony, everybody. Mike is actually on my label. Mike Braxton is actually on my label. We're going to be putting out a project next year. So, and I just want to shout out anybody who's a part of the camp, Carlos, one of the promoters and all that kind of stuff. Precise, you've been looking at by major labels too. So I just want to shout everybody and my social media, everything is 3HP Records. So that's how you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So and then of course I want to shout you out for having me among the legends, being on your show, and your award-winning DJ, continue doing what you do to the community and everything, the station, award-winning, just make an impact. And I commend you on everything that you're doing, and, all the awards that you achieve is well-deserved, and, I just appreciate you, what you're doing.
Hey, man, I gotta say, I definitely feel the love, man, and I gotta say, I definitely appreciate it, man. It's individuals like yourself that appreciate everything I do that actually fuels me to keep doing what I'm doing, man. So I definitely appreciate you. And also, man, your time as well, man, because I gotta say, you've done some absolute phenomenal things, man. And at the end of the day, you didn't have to give us your time here this evening, but you did. So definitely thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're most certainly welcome, Troy. You definitely have yourself a wonderful night and definitely a wonderful weekend as well.
All right, you too.